It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble, 30 minutes of time-wasting fun, and we're going to have some laughs today because it's all about the randomness. And that's kind of the way I've lived my life for, I don't know, the last 44 years, really. But, I think everybody needs somebody in their life that just makes them laugh, right? I am not the person that you come to if you need, a shoulder to cry on, if you need somebody to go and say, well, that's okay, you're better off, or whatever. No. I'm the person that is, I'm gonna make jokes and I'm gonna make you laugh. And so we just actually kind of had this laugh fest a few minutes ago, so we're all kind of still in that mood where Bonnie Winters, and I think it also too helps that when you've known each other for a long time, right, you're more comfortable with each other and you can get away with things. So I've mentioned before our executive producer, Bonnie Winters. I've known her for over 20 years now. We worked together at a publishing company. We were magazine editors for trade publications. So we would be, our offices were at the back of the building, and we didn't have a printer in our editorial department. So this was actually the worst setup ever. We had to walk across the building, which was quite long. It was actually a very long building. So we would have to walk through the art department and then hang a left and go down through a meeting room and then through kind of like a coffee pot area and then through another hallway into the sales department, and then at the back of the sales department was the printer. The most inconvenient. Really, they could have bought us a fucking $50 printer, right? We could have just had one on a desk or something in the hallway, just somewhere, right? Or in one of our offices that we all just... No, we had to... And it was one of those massive ones. It always jams, right? You never... Have you ever worked in a... See, I'm already going. Just pull the string. Here we go. 2 minutes in. Has anybody ever worked in an office where the photocopier, or whatever you want to call it, the Xerox, that's a brand name, but like where it has never jammed? Have you ever? How are these things? They add so many different functions to them. They can hole punch, they can staple, they can do this, they can do that, they can laminate, they can whatever. How about just print out a fucking paper without jamming or making it crooked or whatever? Right? They still have not perfected this. Tell me, I want to know if you have worked for a length of time, not just, 2 days and then you were fired, but 6 months, a year at a place, and you've got one of those massive big ass machines, one of those big ass printers. Tell me if you have never seen it jam, ever. Just email me live at jbonair.com and say, hey JB, no, ours has never jammed ever. I have never had an issue printing. I have never had, tell me. I'm not going to believe you, but tell me. Live, Live, at jbonair.com. Okay, so when we were working at this publishing company, we would, you're not supposed to use the work printer to print personal things, but again, I want to hear from you on this one. How many of you have said, I'm not going to buy printer and get home because, I have a job where there's a printer, so I'll just email stuff to myself at work, I'll print it at work, and then, right? I mean, I saw the cost of ink. So for 2 cartridges, I don't know the brand, I don't know whatever, it was $79 for the color one and the black one. $79. I sit there and think, I own a company, right? A couple companies, we do a bunch of business. We have printers, obviously, at the office. So for me, I can just print something at the office. But I think about how many times I've actually needed to print something at home. It's very rare. Very rare. So, running a business, and yes, we have, and we're also in publishing, so you'd think of all places, but again, at the office, we do have them. But I'm just saying, when I'm at home, who needs a home printer anymore? Right? And again, we're set up so that on my network, if I do need to print, I can actually just print it from my house, and it prints at the office, and then I get it, whenever I get to the office. But I'm just saying, like the home printer, unless you're working from home or unless you have, kids or something in school, $79 for ink? No. And even then, you get the black because you need to just print regular documents or something, and that also just dries up. So I know that, like, my mom had asked me about that before. She's like, "Oh, can I email you something for you just to print it?" And I said, I guess. I don't know if the ink has anything. But you know what? Go take it on a little drive, go to the Staples store, and, print it for 30 cents for the amount of times that you're actually going to be printing, right? That's actually, I think we've done that with Amazon returns or something. I think my mom did that too. She's like, she called them or emailed them or whatever and just said, like, we don't have access to a printer, so you need to send us a return label. And Amazon will just go and say, well, we don't have access, we don't have the capability to do that. And I said, well, they do. They're just not going to. I mean, they're in the business of shipping, so somebody could theoretically print them, a return label and courier them or mail it or whatever, right? I mean, you're in the business of delivering things. So you have it printed from an Amazon warehouse or something like that and have a courier bring it. So instead, Amazon says, well, don't bother returning it. We'll make this one-time exception. You can keep it. And so I just think and go, how does that make sense, though? Like, financially and, like, just, it probably, yes, it's going to cost them something to, print something and mail it. But even then, like, how long does mail take if it's coming from within the same? Like, you're going to pay like $1 or something for and it's going to be just a return label. Like, why would you do that? But I mean, Amazon's got a ton of money, so who cares? Anyway, so we are talking Oh, I didn't get to the thing about Bonnie. They're telling me to wrap up. I didn't even tell the story about Bonnie. Okay, so we're working at the publishing company, and Bonnie is the one telling me to wrap it up because I'm about to make fun of her. That's why too. And they're like, no, we're really late. So we would print things at the office that we probably weren't supposed to. And I think that I printed a lot. But the danger of that, though, is you've got to get clear across the building, right? So if you're printing just a one-sheet thing, there's a good chance that somebody between our end of the building and the printer's end of the building, somebody's going to go to the printer and look at the papers that are on top of it, right? And fish through and go, oh, this isn't mine. Oh, what is this? Oh, Bonnie's resume? She's applying for jobs? So she would go, actually she had bought plane tickets. She'd ordered or, booked it online. And so she was printing out her itinerary, right? She was printing out her flights. And so she would come into my office. So my office was at the end, and then we had another editor in the middle, and then Bonnie was on the left. So 3 of our offices in a row. She would come into my office and say, can you hit print for me? So that, we would do that for each other. And so I'd say, yeah, okay, fine. So I'd go into her office and then I'd give her about, 30 seconds or, 45 seconds or a minute or something. And then I would hit print. So this one time I didn't hit print. So she's standing there and she's waiting and waiting and waiting and it doesn't come out. So then she comes back and I'm back in my office already. And she's like, it didn't print. Did you print it? I said, well, yeah. What? It didn't come? It's like, no. So then I start scaring her and I said, well, then it's going to be in the queue. Like, it's going to be on the screen or whatever. It's going to show that it's still, waiting. So it's going to come out like any second now. So, I mean, you might as well, like, somebody's going to go and get it. So she goes, and then because when she gets there, she's pressing the buttons or on the screen or whatever, and it doesn't show that her thing is processing. So now she's freaking out that it did print and somebody grabbed it from her. I'm such an asshole. Oh my god. So this drags out now for, she's in a panic, wondering, who got it or whatever. And I said, well, it keeps a history of all the things that are printed on, on the screen. So, you can go and look and see who printed, before or after you, and then just go and ask them if they got it. So she starts going over to people. So the person who printed before, the person who printed after. Did you grab some sheets, from the printer? Well, I don't think so, but what was it? And now she's panicking because they're going to flip through the pages. Meanwhile, they're in the grand scheme of things. The reality was she wouldn't get in trouble for printing something like that, right? But she was all, she just didn't want, well, I shouldn't be doing this, whatever. And so that's what made it even funnier, was because, like, whatever, it was like 3 pages. It's not like you printed out the entire, Epstein files or something. So we would do little things like that where we would just, Oh, it was good times. That was good. That was something. And what's funny is actually, we were talking about that story. So last summer, like my birthday is in August. So last summer, I went out to Bonnie and her husband Mike's cottage with Lisa, who's my husband's assistant. So my husband was out of town, and Lisa was like, well, do you want to get together and do something? So I said, yeah, fine, sure. So we didn't know what we were going to do, and then we ended up just driving out to the lake, which Bonnie and Mike have a place kind of by our cottage too. So I don't remember what time. We left the city, I think it was about noon. So it's not quite an hour to get there. So let's say we got there at 1 o'clock. So we got there at 1 o'clock. Bonnie and Mike did not know we were coming. I'd spoken with Bonnie to, for her to say happy birthday and things like that. And she asked what we were doing. And I said, I don't know, probably just going for lunch. And so they told me they were going to be at the cottage. So I said, okay, well, let's go and surprise them. That'll be funny. So we drove out there. Anyway, so we get there again, let's say 1 o'clock. I think it was by 2, not even by 2 o'clock. I had said, and then one of the others said that like their stomach and their face hurt from laughing so much, because again, it's just these random things. And of course, 20 years of working together, knowing each other, we've got these crazy stories. And, so then when we left and we came back to the city, Bonnie texted me and she's like, oh my God, that was so much fun. Which again is funny because we see each other all the time, right? Like it's not like we don't ever, cross paths with each other. And so then I replied to her and I said, do you realize that like we've also laughed at the same stories, right? So that printer thing, or, just like when she went on vacation one time, I had put a for rent sign in her office window. And then when she came back, I had totally cleared out her office. Like I had taken everything, all of her stuff out. So when she came back, her office was empty. And when she wants to she's dreading coming back and going, oh my God, all these emails, and I've got to catch up on this, all this stuff. No, she's actually got to put together her office because I just put everything like everywhere. I just, her chair was in this room and then her whatever. So she had to go on a scavenger hunt around the building. So we've laughed at these stories for years and they don't get old. It is too funny. It's too funny. All right. So now that we are, we've blown halfway through the show almost already. Should we get to the randomness that I was talking about that I teased? We're going to take a break so that we'll get to that hopefully in the second half of the show. And it's going to start right after this.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
Jeremy Bradley here on the Scribble. I think, I was talking about it last week, I think, where, what's the secret to just staying, youthful and happy, whatever, is we just don't take things too seriously. Like, we have to just kind of laugh about things. I don't know the last time that I ever, that I really, really stressed out about something because, you just laugh about it. And that's something that I was saying at the top of the show is I'm not the person that you come to if you need, a shoulder to cry on. Like, if I know that you're having a bad day, so Bonnie, that's what we were laughing about. She was grumpy. And I said, don't tell me if you're in a pissed off mood because that's just going to make me irritate the shit out of you even more. Like, that just makes me go in 10 times harder. And so when you tell me something like that, I'm like, that's ammo, right? But again, at the same time, my whole, goal or my whole sort of purpose is, or purpose, but, my intent is to change your mood and make you laugh, right? To realize, you know what, you're being a stupid bitch. Stop being miserable. There's no sense in being miserable. So have a laugh or, go the fuck home and don't come back. Can I do one more story about Bonnie before we get into this? I'm gonna say it, Bonnie. Okay. I wish she doesn't come on the microphone when we do these. She'll when she's not in, I call her on the phone, which we got so many of those segments from the radio shows back in the day. Bonnie, great weight loss challenge. All right, here we go. Here we go, everybody. So maybe let's just make this the Bonnie show this week. Let's not even get into the other things that I was going to talk about. So when I was hosting the syndicated radio show, Bonnie was on a quest to lose 40 pounds. And so I said, all right, well, let's have some fun with this. We'll call it the Great Weight Loss Challenge. For every 5 pounds that you lose, I'll donate $100 to a hospital. Her son had cancer many years ago, actually as a teenager. So I said, I'll donate $100 for every 5 pounds you lose, but we've got to turn it into a radio show. We've got, we need content. We got to do the content. So she said, yeah, okay, fine. So, and we had only known each other, by the way, for maybe, 2 or 3 years. So it's not like this was just recently. And so what we did was, I said, well, I'll bring a scale into my office, like at the publishing company. And this was before, it's kind of hard to explain. So there was an overlap, and I've told the story before. So I was doing my radio thing when I was still working, but I was living at my parents' house, and it was a little bit different of a situation. Then, when the radio show started to take off, I created my own company, and then I was able to leave the publishing company, and then I was able to bring people like Bonnie and my other editors away from that because they started to hate the place. And so then they came to my media company and started working for me on the radio shows. So there was an overlap where I was on the radio, but then also working at the publishing company at the same time. So anyway, I brought in this scale from home, and I said, okay, so let's, on Mondays we'll do a weigh-in kind of a thing. But she didn't want me to see what she weighed. And I said, well, you can't do that because, the whole thing is like, we've got to we won't say your actual weight on the air, but we'll say, okay, you lost however many this week or whatever it is. But it's not, this isn't just a, trust me kind of a thing. Like so I would weigh myself, which I weighed less than her. But she wasn't very big anyway. And so we do the first week, and it's like, okay, this is what yours is. This is what my weight is. Okay. I wasn't losing. I wasn't participating in the weight loss thing, but I just wanted to do it, for fun, right? So we do the first week, and she comes in on the Monday, right? And then we go, and she gained 2 pounds. And I said, Bonnie, you've made these changes. Jeannie, who's one of our producers as well. Jeannie was one of the editors at the publishing company. I went to school with her. We got along great. And she's a big fitness guru. Like, she totally watches what she eats, and she eats those like styrofoam fucking cakes and things. And so she said to Bonnie, like, obviously you're not doing what we talked about, which was exercising at the same time, but then also eating the fucking styrofoam things that, the cardboard or styrofoam that Jeannie was suggesting, or the things that we even went to the grocery store one day with her with Bonnie to get better choices. And so I start laughing because I lost 1 pound and Bonnie gained 2. And I wasn't doing anything different. I wasn't participating. So then a couple weeks later, Bonnie and her husband Mike ended up booking a trip to Hawaii. And I said, Bonnie, this is a recipe for disaster, right? Because you're trying to do this challenge. You know that you're not going to be eating properly. You know that you're going to be drinking. You know that you're going to be doing stuff like this. So I ended up, I found out where they were staying, and I called the hotel on the radio. So I was calling her. And believe it or not, they were actually there at the time. This was totally a fluke because you'd think in the daytime in Hawaii, or you're going to be off somewhere, you're going to be whatever. No, they were actually in the hotel. Do we have that clip? Can we play it? Can we? Oh, I want us to play that. So let me continue this story. When I'm done telling this story, we're going to play that clip. We're making this the Bonnie show, by the way. I'm not even getting into my post-its of notes here. So Bonnie gets on the phone, which you'll hear in a second, and I'm quizzing her, and you'll hear how badly she totally pissed on this whole program. Like, it was just kind of, are you even trying? Are you even doing it? So we'll get to that clip in a second. And then, so they come back from Hawaii. We do the weigh-in, right? And she even says on the call, like, oh, I'm kind of worried. So she comes back, we do the weigh-in. She gained more weight. I don't remember what it was. But she's now, let's just say she's gained 5 pounds on the Great Weight Loss Challenge. And I said, I'm not sure this is working because also too it's playing out on the radio. So we kind of there's a bit of funniness. There's a bit of humor to it when this person is gaining weight while they're supposed to be losing it and nothing is changing, and then I'm the one who's losing weight and I'm not even doing anything differently. So then we Bonnie can't resist. Back in the day, Pizza Hut used to have the Pizza Hut buffet, at least in Canada anyway. And so we would go I always loved that. I would go, even with my brother, we'd go for 11:30, we'd stay until 1:30, we'd just not eat the entire time, but you eat a little bit, then you sit and talk, and you wait for new pizza to come out, then you go and get some more, and then you sit and talk, and then you go and get some more. So Bonnie could never resist the dessert pizza. And even though they had salad or whatever there, you knew that she was going to get it. So we're sitting at the table, and this was back when camera phones were still very new-ish. They didn't have the best quality, but they were getting there. So she was just like, it's just one slice of dessert pizza. And so I was like, okay, here we go. So what we did was we ended up getting a picture of it, and then we blacked out her eyes, or put a bar across her eyes, because, not shitting you, totally serious. And I've got the picture to prove it. So if anybody wants to dispute this and say, no, it didn't happen, it fucking happened, Bonnie. So we put a bar across her eyes. She's literally using her straw from her drink to scoop the icing from the dessert pizza, or the topping, or whatever it was. I think it was icing, and put it back onto the pizza. So that's like short of rubbing your finger on the plate to put the icing back on the pizza that you're eating. She was using her straw as like a scoop, as a blade to go and get the icing. And then finally, so again, she kind of just gave up. She didn't lose weight during this entire thing anyway. So there was one afternoon where we were just, it was close to the end of the day, and normally we would say goodbye to each other just because, and we wouldn't, it's not like we would come face to face, but it'd just be like, hey, out of here, see ya. And then the person would leave. So I'm sitting and I'm talking with Jeannie, my friend from school, who I hired there as an editor, and she's now our producer here. And I'm like, is Bond still here? So we went and her light was off in her office, and so the door was closed, and we're like, she's gone. And I said, that's very weird. Why did she just leave and not say something? Something's up. So I said to Jeannie, grab a camera. Because we're in a media company. We've got equipment. So she grabs a camera, and I said, we run outside. We got to, if she's still here. So we run out to the parking lot. Sure as shit, Bonnie has some kind of a granola bar, or some kind of like a bar that's got white icing right on the top of it. And it's the funniest picture because she's putting her hand out as though she's like blocking the shot from the paparazzi. So Jeannie is around the passenger side of the car. I'm in the passenger window, going like, pointing, like, look at, what and Bonnie's got her hand out, like, don't take my picture. And again, it's like you're on this weight loss challenge, and here you're eating some kind of an icing covered bar. Like, what the hell? And we just had the funniest moments. And we still do. And that's a big part of the secret. So we have, despite her not wanting to play this. So I'm going to play this right now. Or we're doing it after the break. Okay, so we're going to take a break. We're going to cue it up. We're going to have me calling Bonnie in Hawaii. So this is from our syndicated radio show, probably 18 years ago or so. And so remember, Bonnie is on the Great Weight Loss Challenge, and she should be eating better and losing weight while on vacation in Hawaii. That's coming up right after the break.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
How's it going today? Bonnie Winters, the Great Weight Loss Challenge. You've been following it on our website, www.jbonair.com. She's on a quest to lose 40 pounds. For every 5 that she loses, I will donate $100 to the Tom Baker Cancer Foundation in Calgary, Alberta. Bonnie, though, is in Hawaii right now on vacation, and, you know, it's usually those vacations when people really binge and go all out on the junk food and the drinking and all that other stuff. Let's call Hawaii and find out how she's doing. All right, we are calling Maui. Oh, live right. Let's try this again. So if there are any weight loss tips or fun recipes you want to send along to Bonnie, the email address is bonnie@jbonair.com. Hopefully she's losing weight, because the first week when we did it, she gained a pound, then she leveled off, and she was even back to her starting weight. And I can only imagine what she's eating and drinking while in Hawaii. Here we go. Hi, my name's Jeremy Bradley. I'm calling from the Top of the Charts radio show in Canada. I'm just wondering, how's the weather there today? Good to hear. I'm looking for one of your guests, Bonnie Winters. May I speak with her, please? She just hang up on me? Oh, no. Wow. Very friendly hotel. She must know Bonnie.
Hello.
Aloha from Canada. How are you?
Aloha.
So first, obvious question. We're chilly and freezing here in Canada. How's the weather over there?
It's fabulous. It's been nice ever since we got here. A few little showers on and off, little pockets, and then gone, and it's just been sun.
Oh, poor kid. We feel sorry for you. But I'm not feeling sorry for you, actually, because throughout the entire 2-hour show, I am constantly eating in honor of your being away. So I just put down the plate of pancakes. Just thought I'd mention
shut
that.
up.
So what is on your menu today?
I have backslid somewhat, but I'll tell you, I've been walking my feet off, and I'm hoping that, it's all going to work itself out.
Oh, that's that was husband. He said she just put on 10 pounds. Finally, the truth comes
But
out.
I haven't weighed myself. They don't have scales here in Hawaii. Come on.
Tell him that I'll FedEx over a scale so that we can find out for sure.
You're going to FedEx over a scale? No, I refuse to get on it.
So back to the original question, because you like sidestepping this when I ask it. What have you been eating?
We've been cooking a lot of our own meals, actually. Like today, we're having steak and eggs, and made a few sandwiches, and we did go out to eat yesterday, actually, but it's just, we went to Baba Gump's.
Okay, you've been there for how many days? Don't tell me that it's just steak and sandwiches you've been eating. What else?
All right. I've been eating lots. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, a little pineapple, a little steak, eggs, things like that. We tried to eat a little more fruit and eat a little more vegetables. We had some stir fry and, things like that we cooked up.
Give me a prediction then. When you get back and step on the scale in my office, will the number go up or down?
Well, I'm a little worried, really. Usually I lose weight when I go on holidays, but I don't know. Maybe I had a few too many drinks. I did get into some Mai Tais, JB, seriously. You have to, when you're in Hawaii, you have to have Mai Tais. You do.
Ah, yes, the booze, the Mai Tais, all the other tropical drinks that she's loving there. Bonds, hang around on the phone with us for a little bit. We're going to get back to the music. We'll talk with you again in a few minutes. Brian Mello, All I Ever Wanted, top of the charts with JB.
Slow down.
I like to think I'm a Canadian Idol. I've never gone on the show, not much of a singer anymore, but I was back in the day. I was really. So how's it going today? Thanks for tuning in. Remember, we've got our web poll question happening on the website, www.jbonair.com. The question is, have you ever been to a strip club? Vote yes or no, and if you have, tell me what you thought about it. If not, tell me why you didn't want to go or why you haven't gone. And if anything interesting, wild, and crazy happened, send me an email, jb@jbonair.com. Bonnie is in Hawaii. Totally unrelated subject. I should have maybe put something a little segue in there, but no, couldn't. She's in Hawaii, and remember, the Great Weight Loss Challenge is happening, but apparently the drinks are just too darn appetizing when you're over there. Bon, you mentioned the Mai Tais and all the drinking you're doing, and we had emails before you left, and you know this, we had emails of people telling you to stay away from those drinks.
I know, but it was the luau and, just the whole atmosphere, so I did have a couple of fruity drinks.
Were you in a grass skirt or anything?
No, but I almost bought a little grass skirted hula girl for you. Would you like one?
Well, sure. I mean, I can't wear that. What about one of those coconut bras?
A coconut bra. I have pictures of the hula dancers wearing coconut bras. It's been fun, and we're still having fun. And we have a booze cruise to go on tonight, actually, a dinner cruise out in a catamaran. So.
You have just, like, completely crapped on this whole great weight loss challenge, right? You've got Thanksgiving, then you go away for a week or however long you're gone for. Christmas is right around the corner. Like, what's going on?
I've been careful. Instead of the 3 drinks that we were supposed to have, I only had 2. And tonight, maybe just 1. But again, it's been walk. So I'm really hoping that I haven't gained anything. But it's a holiday. It just kind of came up out of the blue, and I had to go and have a holiday.
Yeah, because that one a month and a half ago wasn't good enough.
Well, that was different. This is Hawaii, I mean, you've just got to hang loose and suck them up.
Well, I'll let you have them hanging loose, and I'll let you get back to sucking them. And thanks for talking to us today, Bon. I will see you in a little bit. Good luck on the Great Weight Loss Challenge, and have fun.
Aloha. Bye-bye.
Da, 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 da.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
So there you go, right? Do you see the fun that we have? We just gotta, you gotta find a job or find a group of people that it doesn't feel like work, right? That old cliche of, find a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Yeah, that's whatever. But, a couple weeks ago when we were talking on the show about people asking about my thoughts on, job applications or finding a place to work. And so one of the people had written in and said, I like the job, I like the people, but I hate the job. And I said, that's a big thing, right? Is what weighs on you more though, right? Would you rather have the good people that you like who make that 8 hours or however long your shift is, that make that time fly by, or because you'll find a way that you'll get the work done and you're not really paying attention. So, okay, fine. But I mean, if you're absolutely hating it every minute and you need those people to get you through it, that's a problem because, they get fired or they quit or something and, then you're kind of on your own, which is basically what happened at the publishing company. Was I left and then our controller, who, by the way, is our accountant here, the controller was the first to go. She ended up going somewhere else. And then I ended up leaving. And then the editorial department wasn't the same, right? They'll bring in somebody new and it's kind of like, oh, you know what? He doesn't have the same energy as Jeremy. Oh, it's just different energy. It's different dynamic. And so they ended up, Bonnie ended up going to another publishing company. And then Jeannie did too, actually, now that I think about it. And because we stayed in touch, once my radio stuff started taking off and I was able to make it a company, I said, okay, everybody, let's do this. Let's get everybody back together. And look at this, 20 years later, here we are. And we're still doing it. So tell me about your best work friend or the laughs that you have at your job. And really, I mean, it really does make the time fly. I don't even have time to get into the stories with Suzanne, our other producer, when we taped Travel Show in Fort Lauderdale and we were at the airport and she basically got us lost just trying to find the car rental company desk. So maybe that's a story for another day. It's one thing when we're stationary here in the office. It's when we travel and you get us out of the building. That's when the real fun happens. But anyway, so send me an email, live, L-I-V-E, at jbonair.com, live at jbonair.com. My name is Jeremy Bradley. This is The Scribble. I will talk to you next week, everybody. Bye-bye for now.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up The Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com. Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.